A message from the Clerk of Cleveland Municipal Court.
Are you in a dispute with someone involving $3,000 or less? The Cleveland Municipal Court can provide an easy way to resolve financial disputes among individuals or businesses in the city of Cleveland. A nominal filing fee allows you to present your dispute without the need of an attorney or a long court procedure. We're here to help you resolve your disputes. For more information on how to file a claim, call 664-4860 or visit our website.
Times, some judge, whether it was me or Judge Mays or Judge Jones, stood here and introduced to you the graduates of the Greater Cleveland Drug Court after they have satisfied all the conditions of drug court and have made momentous strides and are now sober, clean and sober. And that's a great thing, right? But we're all striving to be clean and sober. Okay, so while the graduates are assembling, we want to make you sure that you are aware of our 5K run and walk. It's our recovery walk. It's a big deal. This is like our, 5th annual? So it's a big deal. So if you're in drug court, we want you to participate. It is kind of mandatory, but we also want you to bring your family and your friends. Bring them in a stroller, bring your dogs, do whatever, because it's a fun time, and it's free to you all, and we want you to participate, okay? And it's a really good time. Okay, so we're going to get right into it. We have a great guest speaker today. He's been in this industry for a long time. I'll let you tell him you can say how long you've been involved. But he's a great dynamic speaker, and he's also the president of our Greater Cleveland Drug Court Advisory Board. He does an outstanding job. So I would have you applaud Mr. Jim Joyner.
Thank you, Judge. Good afternoon. My name is Jim Joyner. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm honored to have the opportunity to share these brief minutes with you this afternoon and to acknowledge the efforts and the hard work that you all have engaged in and the celebration that today represents. In the way of introduction, I've worked in the field of alcohol and other drug addiction, treatment, and prevention for now 47 years. And I know you're thinking, boy, you don't look that old, right? I'm that old. I'm that old. But it's been a passion. It's been a passion. I'm also, the other introduction in some rooms, I say, hi, my name is Jim Joyner, and I'm a grateful recovering alcoholic, and I've been sober now for 37 years. When I took that first drink or drug, that wasn't my goal, to become harmfully involved and to develop addiction. That was just the way things happened. But I'm thankful to be able to today look back and to see what happened and to embrace life in a way that maybe I wouldn't have done that. I'm going to give one presentation today, but I'm going to talk to a couple different groups. And I begin with these few words. And I ask that you listen to this very carefully. You can't make a difference in a person's life if that person can't make a different life. Again, I'll repeat it. You can't make a difference in a person's life if that person, they can't make a different life. As a graduates of drug court program, you all probably understand those words quite well. Because the sum total of what you've been through has been an opportunity for you to make a different life. A second chance, so to speak, founded on the understanding that addiction is a disease, a substance use disorder, and not a moral lacking, and not a choice driven by racial or ethnic or economic status. Unlike almost all other diseases, the symptoms of addiction, the lying, the cheating, stealing, violence, the violation of our values are seen by most in our society as just plain badness. And consequently, our number one, and addiction represents our number one public health issue, has historically been handled as a criminal justice issue rather than the public health issue that it is. And so people try to incarcerate our badness. Imagine, if you would, locking a person up who suffers from heart disease, or telling them when they present at the emergency room, we can treat you, but we got to put you on a waiting list. Can you call us back in a week or 2 weeks? Or imagine saying to a person who suffers from schizophrenia or a diabetic who can't maintain their insulin level that you need to go to jail. You are ahead of most, the graduates, who found themselves in a similar situation. And you can continue to be in that select group of winners by using the tools you've been given. I remind you that society isn't complicated. That sobriety isn't complicated. There are just two things you need to do: not use and change your life. Do those two things one day at a time. Use and expand the resources that you've been given, and you will make a difference in your life. Many of you will continue to work hard to keep what you now have, which is an opportunity to live your life on life's terms, to again be able to love yourself and others and allow them to love you. To again be invited and welcomed to places rather than rejected or restricted from them. To hold a job, to hold your child, to hold your head up, and to use the money you worked hard to earn to better your life and the lives of those around you. Today, truly, as every other day, is the first day of the rest of your life. How you treat that responsibility and what you do with it will determine what tomorrow brings. Treatment has given you a direction and an introduction to the tools you need and how to continue to acquire them and use them. If you cultivate this opportunity, then maybe someday you'll stand in front of a group like this and say, "Hi, my name is," and I've got 37 years of sobriety. It happens one day at a time. Don't go to meetings, use your support system, and you'll meet that task that you so desperately, many of you, have worked hard for. To the parents and the spouses and the children and other family members who have come today to celebrate this moment with you, you more than anyone else understand in great detail that addiction truly is a family disease. That lesson you've learned from the sleepless nights of worrying and wondering, the hundreds, no, that for some, the thousands of dollars spent over the years trying to fix their problem, and the uncomfortable reality that you face when you first truly entertain the thought that you may have to bury your child. You know what it's like not to want to answer the phone in the evening when it rings or go to the door. Many of you know what it's like to say no when your heart screams so badly to say yes. Today is also a beginning for you. It's the first step in changing our behavior, your behavior, and your own recovery. It's the beginning of a clear understanding that you didn't cause it, you can't cure it, you can't control it. You never could, you never will. Letting go doesn't mean you don't love them. It simply acknowledges the things that are yours and the things that aren't yours. That it's their life, not ours. So today is your day to pull yourself out of that quicksand, to make sure your feet are on solid ground, to reaffirm what's healthy for you and your family and reestablish those boundaries. And like your loved one, that journey is one day at a time. As long as and along that journey, I suggest you demand of yourself not perfection, but progress. None of us will be perfect, but all of us can progress. The third part of my presentation, this last part, this afternoon, I direct at our elected officials, to our policymakers, to our community. And I began with this question: how many lives must be lost and fall through the hole? What do you mean, fall through the hole? Well, I want you to think about it this way. It's as if our society lives on this huge bridge that spans this raging river. And as we go about our lives, we are expected to navigate holes that exist in that bridge, that are advertised and well lit. Unfortunately, too many are falling through. And so what the elders have decided to do in their collective meeting is to hire lifeguards along the raging river below, and as people fall through, pull them out. We have unfortunately taken that position for years in this country. It doesn't work. And if you were to attend that meeting and they said, we got people falling through the holes of the bridge and we've hired lifeguards and we've given them ropes and poles, I think if you raised your hand, your suggestion would be what? Patch the holes. And that's what we don't do very well. We don't patch the holes. The issue is not having enough lifeguards. The reality is you can't treat the symptom and expect the problem to go away. The problem has to be treated, and we don't have a very good history of doing that. Education, prevention, treatment on demand, redirecting the funding, not to border patrols and wanting to build walls to keep those nasty drugs out of this country, but to treatment, so that folks who suffer from this disease can get treatment on demand, so that families can get the support they need. Our drug problem in America is not a problem because 90% of the world supply of heroin comes from just the poppy plants grown in Afghanistan, or Mexico, because 50 to 75% of the meth use in America comes across the U.S.-Mexican border. Our drug problem exists here. It is our cultural norm. I take you back to economics, the law of supply and demand. And if you recall, the teacher said when we have widgets and people want the widgets, how valuable are the widgets? And we all said very valuable. And then the teacher said, if we have widgets and nobody wants them, what's the value? They have no value at all. America's drug problem is our culture, it's our thinking, and the fact that today special interest determines policies, special interest drives what's done and not done, and special interest lobbies our elected officials. It's a no-brainer. We could turn this around overnight. But dysfunction is profitable. I have for each one of the graduates in your bag a small token of your work. It's a keychain. It says "Me We," and it's a reminder in those moments, maybe when you think you can go ahead and do something. You don't have to follow this recovery thing like they suggested, that the me's of the world affect the we's of the world. That those who sit behind you this afternoon, who love you unconditionally, those wrong steps for you is heartache for them. Those children who call you mom and dad, who look to you for direction and support, when you make that wrong step, you're not there to give that direction and support. So along with all you've earned or learned, I give you this as a reminder that maybe in this moment I can say no, just for today. Let me use the supports that I need. For you parents and family members, I want you to know there's some resources for you. There are traditional programs like Al-Anon and whatnot, but there's some programs, Greater Cleveland area, every Friday, every Wednesday in Cleveland Heights, in Parma, family education support groups, and they're free. And they're available to the community and available to you parents and you spouses who need the ongoing support. And I have information about those, and I wanted to make you aware of it. My message is keep going in the direction you've chosen. Keep the seeds planted and germinated, and get your life back. If not for you, then those that love you. To the community, let's be a little wiser when we vote. Let's be a little more challenging when we ask those folks wanting our vote what they're going to do. and let's support those efforts to educate and patch those holes so fewer people have to be lost. I appreciate the opportunity. I hope these words are meaningful. And again, I respectfully congratulate you for all your hard work and all that you've done. Judge, thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Joyner. I like that. Not perfection necessarily, but progress. That's important. Some people in the program have misdemeanors, some people have felonies. One of the advantages of being in the program, if you have a felony, is that the felony gets amended to a misdemeanor so that the municipal court retains jurisdiction. And then once we retain jurisdiction, you can be in our drug court. So, with that being said, since anybody who has a felony and has a misdemeanor, your case will be also dismissed. So it's a twofer. You get a misdemeanor and then you get it dismissed. And so usually we have our public defender make a motion, and then the prosecutor does not oppose that motion. So for the record, and this is Mr. Sweeney, and he is our present public defender. He does a wonderful job. He takes everybody's concerns into consideration and represents everyone well. Mr. Sweeney? Do you have a motion?
Yes, for all eligible graduates, I'd make a motion to dismiss and a motion to seal the record.
Thank you. And Mr. Torres, our prosecutor,
Thank you,
we're happy to have with us.
Thank you. Before I answer, I respond to the motion. I will say that as a prosecutor, this is a very special process. Can you hear me? No? Okay.
This is important.
Well,
When the prosecutor
I've been a
speaks,
prosecutor
it's
for
important.
many years, and I've been involved in many cases where we send many people to the institution to do long terms. This is special. It's a process that personally gives me hope, and I'm glad to be here, and I will respond to the motion by having no objection to the sealing of the record, and would like to, if you want to pass by and say hi, you're welcome, but I don't want to see you in court anymore. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Torres. So the motion is unopposed, and it is so ordered. Congratulations. And then to all of you who have agreed, voluntarily or involuntarily, to be a part of this, because you know it's good for you. We all want what's best for you, and we all have your best interests at heart. And we want to thank you all for being here and paying attention and helping us to celebrate the graduates. So a hand for you all. Okay, anybody else want to say anything? Ms. Eason, you have anything else you need to say? Oh, you know we're having our 20th year gala. It's October the 12th. If you know anybody who wants to come, October 12th at Lander Haven. And it's a fundraiser because we want to raise funds to do more innovative programs for the drug court. So it's not just about coming to court and going to treatment, but we want to do other things like the yoga and the picnics and all those kinds of things because we want to think outside the box when it comes to treatment. So hopefully we can raise some money so we can do more of those kinds of things. And it's October the 20th at Lander Haven. Again, October 12th. Okay, I'm always. I talked about the race. And what else?
August 29th.
The picnic, you tell them, because I always get dates mixed up. And I'm saying, well, Judge said it was October the 20th. No, it was October the 12th. So you all know, so go ahead.
Okay, so we are having our picnic, which we've been having the flyers circulate in court on August 29th. It'll be at Euclid Creek from 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. You're welcome to bring family. Only like 2 people, though. And then also your children as well. We'll have a bouncy house for the children. We'll have games and food and fun. So everyone come out to celebrate and have a good time. Although it's for a good time, it is mandatory.
All right. So we will see you all then. You got to do a lottery. All right, very good. Anything else? Anybody? Okay, so thank you all for coming. Congratulations to the graduates. We have reception in the back. Please partake, and we'll see you all soon.
For a videotape copy of this episode, call 664-3571 with the following information on your TV screen.